A little something different. I know I mentioned it a few times in the other videos, and I wanted to actually pull up the documentation. So this is the email that I was sent. I took out the email address just because I don't want him to get a flood of emails and get upset at me for putting his email out there. So I wouldn't do that. But I'm at Fort Gordon while I'm in Georgia. So Fort Gordon is my discharge location. And so on Fort Gordon, there's an office where you can go. It's right across the street from Darling Hall. And basically get the information off of the door. I don't think anybody actually mans that office anymore. But that's basically what I did is I went there and pulled the information off the door. I sent an email, and this was the email that I received back. But before going through this email, let me just jump over here to benefits delivery at discharge is what this program is called. This is the program that I was referring to that you can do within 90 days after your discharge or up to 180 days before you're discharged. So basically, that window from 180 days out from your actual retirement up until 90 days past that, which just happens to be for me the day that I final out from Fort Gordon, right? So you can go online and do some research about this stuff. It'll give you some information of how it works, who can apply, places you can apply, and then intake sites. And then, like, these are some global contacts for Landstuhl and Camp Humphreys in Korea, and other related information on military.com. If you go back and hit the VA site, you can actually see pre-discharge claim. It gives you a lot of the same information, and it's a little bit more spelled out. So if you have less than 90 days left on active duty, are there any other reasons that you can't use the BDD program? This is basically a way to get your VA claim kickstarted and to get somebody else to help you through the process before you actually come off of active duty so that you get a little bit more precedence and you get a step ahead of everyone else who has waited till after they came off of active duty or didn't know about this program till after they came off of active duty. It's a little bit more drawn out, as I've heard, and it takes a little bit longer and is not as much emphasis as you would get with this particular program. So, saying that, just search pre-discharge. Search benefits delivery at discharge, and you can find a bunch of stuff on the web about it. And maybe someday you'll see a YouTube video that has Retire Army on it that pops up in the videos down here. But anyway, so let's go to this document. This is the email that I received, and this is exactly how it was sent to me. I didn't change anything except taking out the email addresses. So let's just walk through this real quick. Provide your discharge date and contact information before sending an influx of emails. Of course, that's pretty obvious. Outline, you'll see below what needs to be collected. You've requested program, you have 90 to 180 days remaining on active duty. You may also obtain assistance if you have 1 to 89 days remaining on active duty. If your claim has been submitted online, you're receiving this email because your claim is incomplete. Right, so there's one of two reasons why you would get this email. The reason why I got it is because I requested it. It says, please submit your medical records and any other required documents. Follow the guidelines below. Applications must be completed during this process. Complete the forms, go over the forms together, ensure we do a clean claim from the start. And please do not submit any applications that may have been completed by someone else. That means if you've already started the application, please do not go and resubmit through these people who work for the VA, because then you're going to convolute the system and you'll have probably more complications than you want. So with that, there's an option to call if you have paperwork already in progress, right? So some stuff about your separation health examination, compensation and pension examinations, um, for scheduling, some information about that. Due to COVID-19, there may be delays. We understand that. You'll need a copy of your entire medical records to file the claim, which means what I had mentioned in another video as well. If you go to a military base, to the hospital, and go to the records section, and you can go in there and request to have everything downloaded onto a CD. I did that a couple weeks ago and just recently got back. Um, Sorry, let me get in here and find it real quick. Just recently got back some stuff. This is essentially what comes on the CD is basically your profiles, any medical record history, all that stuff is in there. So that's where I've downloaded mine right now. I'm gathering all my documents right now. But yeah, you'll need to get all that together, and they recommend using the DoD Safe to send it because it may be a few gigabytes of information. I know between that CD that I got, a couple other CDs from some MRIs and some other things that I had over the years, as well as all the scanned documents that I scanned. And actually, not as a plug because I'm not endorsed by anybody to do anything, but um, if you can find a neat document scanner, NEAT, I can put the link down in the description below. But those things are super duper handy for scanning like all of your records, all of your paperwork that you want to scan and get turned into electrons so you can save it for future use. They're really great. I went and found one at a flea market for $50. I think when they first came out, they were like $3.99 or something like that, which is why I never bought one. But I just happened to stumble across one. So if you go on like maybe eBay or if you go to a local flea market, you might be lucky and find one. They're really super handy. It's like the best scanning device I've ever purchased ever in my life, and it's well worth the $50 that I paid for it. So um, there's also an option here to email if you would like. 38Ks is the max, which if you break it down into files, you're going to find out that 38Ks is not a lot. So you're probably going to end up sending a whole lot more than that. If you're doing sleep apnea, you have to have a sleep study. It says the VA will not test you for sleep apnea. Any mental health conditions need to be documented and diagnosed at the time your claim is submitted. If you have treatment records from private physicians that may not be part of your records, please get those as well. I just do this by default. I've done it for years. Whenever I go anywhere outside of a military hospital, and even when I'm in a military hospital, I always ask for a copy of everything. So no matter what it is, and usually it's me having to go back and forth to get it, but they're usually pretty lenient and they give me everything that I want. There's been a couple of cases where I've had to pay like $5 or $10 to get my records, but for me, that's a negligible cost when it comes to actually being able to process something like this and get your VA status updated so that you can get compensation if you have any ailments or if anything's wrong or if you need, disability for anything. You can get all that taken care of quite easily when you have all that paperwork. So any 214s, and then uh, eligible dependents. You'll also have to provide marriage certificates, birth certificates, social security numbers, divorce decrees, um, dental records, and all that stuff, right? So they really do ask for a whole lot of information. I'm going to try to get all this packaged up and sent off and see what happens. I still haven't got my retirement physical that's scheduled for another month out, I guess. But um, I'm gonna send as much as I can now and see what they say, and then I'll definitely like let you guys know what they came back and told me. But there's a lot of paperwork involved in this. But again, all of this front end work saves you a lot of hassle on the back end. Direct deposit information, of course, and then once you've completed um, then you'll have to do any signatures or anything on the documents that they provide back. You can scan them back with the signatures on them. Be sure to be available for examinations scheduled on your behalf. Please follow the guide as it applies to you. And please do not forward this email to others as it will not pertain to them, which is why I'm not putting his email address in here. I did put the name of the organization and where it's located at, kind of on Fort Gordon. But even then, that's really ambiguous because if you didn't know it was there, it wasn't there, you wouldn't be able to ever find it. So you'd walk right by it a million times and never see it. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make sure I go over like this email and this process because I'm pretty sure it's a really, really important process and program. And I've never heard about it except for talking to a retired colonel that happened to be retiring a few months before me, who had let me know about it. And she had found out from a retiring colonel a few months prior to her retirement. So this was literally just handed to me word of mouth. I don't think I would have stumbled on it on my own. It would just happen to be a serendipitous moment where the information just presented itself. So I want to make sure that I put it out there to the world and make sure that all of you have it because I don't hear a lot of people talking about this particular process at all, really. So that's about it. Like I said, you can go here and search for benefits delivery at discharge, and I will put links to some of these things here, as well as that scanner that I mentioned. If you do have any issues or problems trying to digitize anything, feel free to reach out to me. I can probably help you out. I'm an IT guy, so I can at least give you some tips and pointers and try to help you out with the process of that if you have trouble accessing DoD Safe. Not that I'm the help desk. I'm most certainly not the help desk, nor do I play the help desk on the internet. Um, but if you run into any snags along the way with the technical stuff, as far as getting your documents and everything put into one place and then getting it over to the location you need to get it to, you can either reach out to them and find out the best way to get it over to them, or if you have any issues, you can most certainly put them in the comments and I can try to address those as I see them pop up. All right, that's about it. Thank you for your 13 minutes of time today. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you all very soon. Enjoy your weekend and don't forget to pass this out. If you find it helpful and you think it will help other people, feel free to send it off and send it out into the world so more of us can know about this stuff prior to getting out of the military. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take it easy.